What's up, YouTube? This is Frusion. Coming to you today to talk about a topic that's been ongoing for the last decade or so, if not longer. Who's a better player, Kobe Bean Bryant or Michael Eric Jeffrey Jordan? Now, when I'm asked that question, I think it's funny, and that's not a downer on Kobe Bryant or what he's achieved in his entire 15 years thus far in the NBA. I say that in the context of, Michael Jordan was not just any athlete in the history of sports. Here's a guy who was called the greatest player of all time in just 8 years in the league. Yes, 8 years in the league, from '84 to '92. After he got his gold medal in the '92 Barcelona Olympics. And not just that, every night when you watched Michael Jordan play, you got like the greatest show slash concert of your life to those who saw Michael Jordan in his prime. Now, when I say prime, I'm talking about anywhere from 1986, 7 to 93, which is when he retired for the first time, unfortunately, to go to play baseball for 17 months and then come back in '95, March of '95, to resume his basketball career, or AKA the second coming of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was just the greatest leader in the history of the NBA, along with Irvin Magic Johnson as a close second. Um, but Kobe Bryant, um, what can I say about Kobe? He's an amazing athlete. What he's done on a night in and night out basis for the last 15 years was just amazing. The array of shots that Kobe Bryant takes, you can argue that only Michael Jordan has been able to do that thus far, in the entire history of the NBA. But people like to just bring up the fact that, oh, Kobe has only one more ring left to reach Michael Jordan. And when I hear that, it's just funny, because I say to myself and to those people who say that, how is 6 rings going to make Kobe, quote unquote, just as good as Michael Jeffrey Jordan? It's just funny. Not to mention, the first three-peat that Kobe Bryant won, he wasn't the leader, or quote unquote the man on his team. That's not a downer on Kobe Bryant's first 3 titles. He was the 2-man on his team for the first three-peat, much like Scottie Pippen was the 2-man on the Bulls when Michael Jordan led them to both three-peats. Obviously being 1991, 2, 3, and again 1996, 7, 8. Um, but but it's not just the leadership role; it's also the stats. Stats-wise, Kobe Bryant has come very close to Michael Jordan in terms of stats. Um, Jordan averaged 30.1 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Kobe Bryant 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So in terms of rebounds and assists, Kobe Bryant is just one number shy from each of those 2 categories. But when you talk about points, he's about 5 point something points off, which is still not too bad. That right there shows that he's the closest that anybody can get, statistics-wise, at that shooting guard position to Michael Jordan. And which is great. I mean, I mean, uh, get this, folks. 1993 NBA Finals, Chicago Bulls versus the Phoenix Suns. Um, Michael Jordan averaged 41 points per game. 41 uh, in those entire 6 games. Um, game one, he had 31. I'm sorry. Game one, he had 31 points. Game two, 42 points. Game three, 44. Game four, 55. Double nickel, which is the second highest in NBA Finals history. First one obviously being Elgin Baylor with 61 points back in the 60s. I believe it was 1962. And game five, 41 points. And game six, 33, which was the clincher, obviously. June 20th, 1993, to be exact, folks. And yeah, I mean that's what defied Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I mean, the fact that he was able to step it up in the finals, um, he was just on a whole another level in the finals, completely different level in the finals, um, compared to any other player that is, as far as leadership goes in the finals. Playoffs as well, but again, no player can do what Michael Jordan has done in the finals. Well, at least not thus far. Um, and again, we saw what he did in when he came back in '95. He scored another double nickel, 55 points on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, MSG. Um, and again, that was only his fifth game back from baseball, which should tell you guys something about Jordan. That even though he was rusty after 17 months, he still quote unquote had it, so to speak. And again, unfortunately, they fell short in the playoffs in the semifinals to Shaq and Penny's Magic. Game six in Chicago, they were up by 8 points with under 2 minutes to play, and they just blew it. So people like to blame Jordan that he was quote unquote not the same Jordan that he was before, just because he was wearing number 45 at the time, which was his baseball number, obviously. And I mean, you could say that to a certain extent, but again, I mean, you cannot blame the guy too much. He was only in the 90, 1994 95 regular season for only 17 games, which is not even half of the regular 82 game season in the NBA to be considered uh, a player that's in form, because he was still rusty out of baseball. But again, and then we saw what he did the next season. He came back, led the Bulls to an NBA record, 72 wins and 10 losses, and followed by a second three-peat in 96, 97, 98, which I truly believe. Speaking of the second three-peat, I truly believe that they could have won in 1999 in that lockout shortened season. With the NBA being played only 50 games, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that Michael Jordan at age 36 could have done it for a seventh time and a four-peat overall. And which, by the way, I still hold my opinion to this day that if Michael Jordan ever walked away from the game of basketball in 1993, he could have won 8 straight championships, tying the 1959 to 66 Celtics led by Bill Russell. And yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan is, in my eyes, undoubtedly the greatest player to ever play the game. I mean, again, this is Frusion. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, just post your comments below, and see you soon. Take care.